Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. How's everybody doing? Pretty lazy weekend this weekend, so this is kind of my weekend update. Wasn't much happening on Saturday, a little less happening today, and then it looks like we just got some action. It looks like China just opened up here a little bit ago. We had Bitcoin pop, Ethereum kind of pop, a lot of the coins pop. We'll talk about those in a minute. I did want to mention Internet of People, though. I don't talk about these small coins that often and for good reason, but I just want to say that if you see a small coin that has just excellent behavior like Internet of People has had, along with a massive run and a very orderly pullback with light volume, pretty nothing on the downside here, then it explodes up again. You need to pay attention to coins like this. At some point, this should be on your radar. It does pay attention. It does pay to pay attention to Twitter and some of these smaller coins, looking at the Bitfinex. The Bittrex movers of the day, coin market cap movers of the day, things of that nature, just so you can keep apprised of these coins, because some of these can have excellent trades. Internet of People put a very nice low-level base in. This is an excellent base, and it just exploded out of here for 46%. If you're lucky enough to get it to the high, another 87%. So you need to keep an eye on these ones. Just put them on your list. That's why my list is so huge, and why I can't ever find anything in my list is because it's so huge, because when these coins move, the ones that the crowds get into, they move time and time again. So that's Internet of People. It's done a double top here, but still keep this one on your list, guys. I don't think this one's done. Notice there's no climactic volume at the top. This is going to do another 100 to 500% within the next few weeks, maybe a month. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay, so next up on the list is Pay. We're going to work from the bottom up today. Like I said earlier, I can't find anything in my charts, and I know Pay is coming up here. Here we go. As we know, Pay had that big Visa news on Friday, had this nice massive pop on crazy volume, pulled back about almost 50% into this large pop, consolidating here, and we just had some volume come into Pay, as well as some other altcoins we're going to talk about in a minute. So Pay could be getting ready to have some kind of a move here in the near future. If it gets back down towards this level, pretty much towards a 205, if you can get Pay at 205 towards 208, I'd say that's a really good entry for Pay. You're going to have a natural stop down here at about the $2 level. If it gets past 2, you need to give it some room and step aside. But if it stays above 2, I think this thing is going to be a winner. At least for a trade, we'll kind of have to see longer term how that whole thing plays out. Maybe Visa calls them out for something. But back to the big dog, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin just had, and pretty much the whole market, a lot of the large caps just had a really nice pop on the China Open here. Really nice pop up, kind of caught me by surprise. I was expecting we go downwards, but we had this nice pop coming up to these old highs, consolidating at this point in time. I'm going to have to sleep, which is going to kind of piss me off if this thing jumps up. As you know, we've been bearish on the market overall. And we're getting a little long in the tooth in this base, however. So if you've noticed in Bitcoin and Ethereum, we tend to have these bases that go sideways for a little bit of time. So we have this one, we have this one, we have this one. Now we have this one that we're in. And it's kind of coming up to its expiration date where it needs to make a move in one form or one way or another. If it doesn't make a move, that's just going to put the whole market in a question mark. At least in my mind, it's going to put it in a question mark. Maybe it's not such a bearish downtrend. Maybe the whole overall news of China, closing down closing ICOs and closing down the exchanges, maybe that selling has stopped, because if all the exchanges are closed, China can't liquidate anymore. So it's up to the rest of the world to trade. So maybe that bear movement has been capped. That is a possibility. I still am cash in my positions. I am taking trades with my trading account, but my core position is still in cash. But, look, you have to be open-minded when you're trading. You have to look for change in behaviors, and you have to be willing to give up any belief you have in the market at any moment in time. If you're not able to do that, you're going to be really hammered in this market, okay? I just have to say that. So while I'm still kind of wearing my bear cap right now, I kind of have my hand on the brim, just kind of thinking about, what, maybe I take this cap off. But right now my hand's just on the brim. I'm just thinking about it. So the declining trend line's still holding. But let's go through some of these larger cap coins and see what's going on here. So Ethereum is actually, if we do move up and out of this, Ethereum will be the leader in my opinion. All right, I want to get some more perspective. Why isn't my scroll working? Let's go to the 2-hour chart. All right, so what's happening in Ethereum here? Let's get this neckline out of here finally. This trend line has been broken with Ethereum right here. We're living above it. We did just have a volume pop on Ethereum, just like we did Bitcoin right here. We've sold it out about halfway into it. We have another trend line developing here, and this continues to move. So it was here. It was, it was parallel with this trend line. It did move here with this top. It did move here with this move, and now we're kind of living under this trend line. So the more we have these, so we have a higher low in place here. We have a low and 2 higher lows now. So that is good for the bullish case. We also have this trend line here. If this trend line gets broken with any kind of volume, I may start leveling in and leaning into to my core position. Just because of the fact this has been broken, even though it does kind of look bearish, I'm still going to start to put money to work. I do want some volume confirmation. Sometimes these can come late to the game though. But excuse me, guys, I'm kind of losing my voice. If this gets broken here to the upside, which it may do tonight when I'm sleeping, and I'll kind of be upset, I may end up, like I said, leaning into with my core position. The volume still here is really benign though, so I'm probably only going to take 10 to 15%, maybe 20%, just kind of depending how the market acts. But we really need some volume here to get us pushing to the upside. If we start floating upward on low volume, it's kind of like my test of Bitcoin 3000 scenario, right? If we go down on low volume and then base, and then we're waiting for a crash, at the same point we can float upward on low volume and still crash. Okay, we can go either way. My thought was we would go downward, but like I said, thoughts don't mean anything, and maybe we go upward and then crash downward. It's hard to say exactly. At this point anything's possible. This downward movement has been capped for the moment with that Bitcoin 3000, Ethereum 200. So at this moment in time, right now, let's change our behaviors as traders. If you guys are taking your clues off of me, change your mindset. Start looking to lean into positions. Don't get super heavy, however, because this could turn around on us at any given moment. But that being said, we don't want to miss out on moves because we have a bias. I do not want to be biased in the market, okay? So anyway, that being said, that's Bitcoin, that's Ethereum. Let's look at Ripple. Ripple starting to edge out at this declining trend line. Not too much volume here, but it did get a little volume pop with the rest of these large coins. Look at this nice green candle here. Litecoin started going sideways here, folks, so that's interesting action. Again, benign volume. Dash seems to be kind of leading us up and out of things. Although there is this trend line here that is yet to be broken. I actually had my trend line drawn like this. I thought this was a more viable trend line, but maybe this is the actual trend line. So, trend line drawing is an art. I'm not perfect. Everything kind of is what it is. But if you look at Dash back here, look at this. We had this nice kind of trend line here. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, and then it went. So let's kind of look for that in Dash. If we do get really bullish, maybe Dash will actually run up and give us a good run. But you want to wait. If you look at here, you want to wait for some good volume. You notice volume coming in here, crossing the trend line, came back and tested the trend line in lower volume, and then it exploded upward. May do something similar. Again, volume is always the key with these moves. So keep this trend line in mind. This is a pretty aggressive trend line in terms of this being a bullish action, or a bullish trend line. So anyway, go ahead and keep that in mind as well. IOTA started to have some action. A little bit of volume pop here as well. Consolidating above that 50 level. Hasn't really breached it yet. I mentioned in my last video, if you want to get into IOTA, that's fine. I think we were over here, but 50 needs to kind of be your line in the sand. If this can stay above 50, we're good. If this breaks 50, we're going to be in a bear in IOTA. So Omise Go, we're going to talk about Omise Go. I actually just took a little bit of a position in Omise Go. There's a good risk reward right here. There's at $8. there's basically a floor that's been set at $8, it looks like. So, I'm kind of risking 10% for potentially 20%. So 2-to-1 risk reward. Not the best risk reward, but it's something. I'm taking it for a trade. I put about 20% of my my trading account into this, so we'll see what happens. And so there you go. We may be getting a change in market behavior. Well, we're seeing a change in market behavior. That doesn't necessarily mean we have a change in market trend yet, but keep that in mind going forward. Keep an open mind. Don't just stay completely bearish, but don't get completely bullish either. Let the market tell you what to do. If we see support levels broken one after the other, and we continue to see higher lows, and if we continue to see volume improvement, each of these gives you a piece to the puzzle that we're going to go into a bull trend. But again, right now that is not the case. We still have higher volume pops in red, even if we're moving higher. But like I said, it's still okay to take trades. I just wouldn't go full account until we get volume confirmation. All right, guys, there you go. Sorry, I didn't mean that to be 11 minutes long, but it was. Subscribe if you like the video. Like the video if you like the video. And I will see you in the live stream tomorrow, which I will be doing. All right, guys, I will see you then.